Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I need a video. I think I've skipped 2 days in a row. And I really wanted to do something crafty, sewing, maybe with some of the scraps that I've been using in a little series, like the denim scraps. But I just don't have time, so I thought I would just sit and chat with you, fill you in on what my week going forward is going to look like, and also to fill you in on what I've done so far about the AA meeting nightmare that I went through. So let's just start with the week. First of all, this is a Saturday. I went out last night and met some friends at Dan McGinnis, and I don't know, I was just in a kind of a down mood and I wasn't feeling the music, so I left alone and went to Hadley's. That's in Bartlett. And I had a much better time because the band was great. I knew the band, who the band was, 901 Rocks, and I love them. And I got to dance. I got there like at 10, but I danced till 1 a.m. They did have 2 breaks. But yeah, so I got my dancing in and I felt good about that. Tony was in bed early, so he's not one to go out for the late shows, but he does go with me sometimes for the earlier ones, and I'll get to that with this upcoming week. Tonight I am going to Hadley's again, alone, because they're 9 to 1. Sean Few is there with Formerly Known As. I absolutely love them. He makes it like a party, so I know I'm going to have a good time. And Tony is on vacation this whole week coming up because his birthday is tomorrow, Sunday, July 14. So he started his vacation Friday after work, and tomorrow we are going out for his birthday to Hadley's. It's going to be formerly known as, again, he hasn't heard them, and that's Sunday Fun Day, which is 5:30 to 9:30. That fits right in with Tony's bedtime. So we're going to go. We went to Hadley's together once, but it was a Wednesday. That's right. So we have been to Hadley's. That was a 7 to 10, and I think we left a little early, if I remember right. It might have even been 7 to 11. I can't remember. But we left a little early, and I had a good time. So now we're going to Hadley's tomorrow for his birthday. It was either that or Lafayette's for 901 Rocks. I decided on Hadley's. I just thought I'd have a better chance dancing there on a Sunday than at Lafayette's. But I don't know. I could be wrong, right? But I had to make a choice, and so far, that's the decision. Then this week coming up, we also had planned Tuesday night at Neil's for the Deb Jam Band, meeting Derek and LaShawn there. And I, kind of put it out to him, like, if you want to choose one, which one. He chose Sunday at Hadley's for his actual birthday. I'm going to try to make us go Tuesday night also, because I do like that. But if he does not want to go out, I would still go and meet Derek and LaShawn, because Derek loves to go there on Tuesdays now. He and LaShawn always get asked to go up on stage. So it's fun, and I like it. I like the music very much, and it's kind of a chill, not pressured into dancing. If nobody's dancing, I don't care, because it's only a Tuesday. I get my dancing in on the weekends. Thursday, I am going to see Rock the Boat alone, and Tony is going to go record at an RC shop that his friend owns, and something about they're going to be doing racing there. I know there's a racing track. I don't know exactly, but I'm glad he'll have something to do Thursday while I go out. For Rock the Boat, I am on the dance floor the entire night. That's also a 7 to 10. So I don't, although I would love to have Tony there, I don't need to have him there because he would just be sitting alone while I'm on the dance floor the whole night. I don't know anything yet for the Friday and Saturday during his vacation. Sunday, we're going to a big tribute for Pete Mondello, who was a drummer who died like a little over a year ago. And he died like right after playing. I wasn't there, but he died when they were done playing, got up from the drum set and just fell, and that was it. That was at Hadley's, actually. Now, Derek had just interviewed him a little bit before, but I think the actual podcast that came out wasn't too much before when he actually died. So Derek is involved in the tribute along with Area 51 and a bunch of other people. And there's going to be something like 16 different drummers who are going to be using Pete's drum set. His wife, Carolyn, she said they could use his drum set for the tribute. So it's going to be really nice. And the other musicians will be swapping out too. Derek will be playing a few songs, and Jeff, his sidekick for the podcast, he's a drummer. So everybody's going to be swapping out. It's going to be a really good time, and Tony is coming to that. So that's how the week looks coming up, and I'm just excited to do all these things. It makes me nervous though when I have plans. It's like, I want everything to work. Like, I want to make sure my tables are actually reserved. Things like that. It's like I'm always like so worried something's gonna go wrong. But I'm just gonna try to chill. I really need to chill more. I really do. So I don't blow up at AA meetings. Okay, so let's get to that. That happened last week on let me look. Yeah, it was Monday, July 8th, and I have a video for that. I will link in the description to that video. I'll also put it on the end screen of this video if you want to go get caught up on that. How many comments do I have so far here? I'm looking. 413 so far, and they're still coming in. I was undecided as to what I should do. I think if I could have gone to a meeting on Tuesday night, but I was busy with Derek Tuesday night, so I couldn't go to a meeting, I would have probably gone back to that same chapter. But then, now that a little time had passed, I didn't know if I really wanted to. So on Wednesday night, I went to a different meeting, one that I had never been to at all, ever. I was told in advance that I probably wouldn't like it because they're pretty religious there, but then I thought I'll take a chance. But yeah, they are very by the book, the Bible, and what the hell's it called? AA. They say that they're not about that. They're not about God. They're not about the Bible. Specifically, the Christian Bible is what they're going by. The one thing I liked about this group, they were honest. They didn't say, oh no, this isn't, we're not Bible-based. The chairperson said, this group, we're trying to bring it back to the Bible. So they're very Bible people, which just isn't my thing, because the message that they hand out is you have to have God to stay sober or to get sober, or you are going to continuously fall off the wagon, which just isn't true. There are many, many people who quit drinking without AA, and we don't hear about them because they're not in AA. So they, they just do it. I'm one of them. Derek too. Derek didn't go to AA to quit drinking. So I just don't like the message, and it's just not my thing. But I stayed at the meeting. I had talked to the chairperson alone first and asked her about, explained to her a little bit about what happened to me at the meeting on that Monday. And, she was like, I can't give any advice about that. You could just go back and see, what they think or whatever. Because the chair people are just the members. Like, I could chair a meeting, So there's no, head person in each group. Some people said, I could call headquarters or whatever. I'm not even going to bother getting into that. I'm just not. There's no way that they can stop anybody from having their own agenda in a meeting. It's just going to happen. And I will mention one thing. Anyway, so just back to that. So I didn't care for that meeting. I sat through it. It was okay, but it was very clear and obvious that these members are members who want to be there because they want to be very, very dependent on God. And that's fine for them. That's fine. I loved that they're honest about it in that group. At least that chairperson was very honest about it. Because one of the groups that I used to go to, they were very eye-rolling. It's not about God. Okay, that's right. One of the meetings I went to where I actually cried in that meeting, but didn't leave, and I had people supporting me, and then I stayed away for a little bit, like a couple of weeks, but then I ended up going back, but I didn't, have a fucking, meltdown like I did in this other meeting. But I cried. But yeah, the thing that set me off was that the chairperson was saying, she was talking about, that was the subject, about you don't have to believe in God and you don't have to do this and then you don't have to do that. She goes, but if you don't believe in God, I can't remember her exact words, but it was something like, you've got a lot of thinking to do, or something like that, And I didn't like that because, see, she's trying to say you don't have to, but then she's trying to say you're wrong if you don't. So when it came to my turn, I talked and said, and she said, nobody here is leaving because of God and stuff like that. And I said, I'm one who almost walked out of here because of, the way you guys promote God. And it's in the writings. I can't understand why AA just doesn't say we are a Christian-based godly group. Not group just, but the whole thing, the whole organization, because it is. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, but everybody says, no, you can just have it be the higher power. I don't want a higher power. I want to do it on my own, and I think a lot of people would rather just do it on their own, give themselves credit, nobody else. I give myself credit for my sobriety. I don't have a higher power I have to thank. It's me. I did it. And I want the credit. So that's me. That's just me. And I know there are other kinds of groups, but I'm not like so involved in this because I need help with my drinking. It's actually more help that I need with my sobriety. Just how do I walk through this fucking world as a sober person, even though I've been sober for a long time? Because I was sober, but I was a recluse too, right? So anyway, so now I don't know what I'm going to do. So Wednesday I went to that meeting that I'm not going to go back to. I have no interest in that meeting. It was not beneficial to me in any way. I didn't like it. Thursday I went out. Friday I went out. Tonight I'm going out. Tomorrow night I'm going out. So it brings me to Monday. I'm not going out Monday. There's no meeting that I want right now on Monday. The other meeting I go to is Sunday and Tuesday. So I'll look for a different meeting Monday. I don't think I want to go back to my old meeting yet. I don't know. I may never go back. I don't know. Tuesday I will for sure. As long as nothing is, getting in my way, I will go to the other meeting and, feel them out and see if I can talk to somebody there who's been in AA a long time and see what they say about the episode and whether or not I should go back or if there's anyone I should talk to. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk. So-and-so said this and this. It's not like I want a permission slip, saying, look, I got a permission slip. I can come back in. They said so. So I'm just playing it by ear at this point. But yeah, it's sad that I lost my group in the way that I had it. And I really, really wish I would have used that as an opportunity to talk about it instead of the way I handled it. But I'm okay. And then, so some of the people say, and I'm going to give you an example as to why, no, that doesn't cut it. I have issues, right? I am supposed to now be extra forgiving because that woman also has issues. She's not supposed to put her issues directly on me. I put my issues on her because it was a reaction. I did not start that. I was being very nice to her and showing how nervous I was. And she did that on purpose because she had multiple times knowing that I did not want to read. I did not want to fill in the calendar to chair a meeting. That was another time that, didn't want to do this, don't want to do that. And I don't want to do the chips. And she on purpose just kept pushing it. And she knew that I would say no to that because I said no to the other things that she offered, asked me to do. And I said no. And each time it was like, well, you need, no, I'm not, I'm sorry. So, I just had the end of it. It just was such a trigger to me that day that I was like, why can't she just get it straight? And I just should have said, I'm not obligated to do this, and I do not want you to ask me anymore. Do not ask me again. Day one, I told her, the very first time I went there and she wanted me to read, I said, when I'm ready to read, I will let you know. I was clear as day on that. I was trying to let them know, or her, it was just her asking me, that I'm not, not trying to not play by the no rules that there are. There are no rules about it, so I can't say I'm not trying to go against the rules because there are none. Never have to read. But I was trying to let her know, in time. If I want to read, I'll let you know. And she just kept pushing it. And the thing about the coffee that I had said I wanted to fill up the creamer, I had told you a little bit about that, but I didn't like finish my point because I never do. It was odd to me that when I said, if you show me where the creamer is, I'll fill this. And she said, no, I'll do it. So she was taking away any little chance of me wanting to be the trusted servant that she wanted me to be, right? I was offering to do something. She didn't want me to do it. So it's just funny. So people like that, that was her thing. But now as for, I'm supposed to be like so understanding and forgiving, and because she has her issues, I get it. I get it that she has her issues. And if somebody else stands up in that room and has a fit like I do, I'm going to understand that's their issue. If somebody caused them to, erupt, like somebody caused me to erupt, I didn't have to erupt. I understand that. But in that moment, that's what happened. I was triggered. I fucking erupted. You're not supposed to put the blame on the one with the reaction. Start with what happened to make that person react. Here's an example. I worked at Domino's Pizza years ago, in my 20s. There was this guy there that constantly, for the hell of it, liked to come up behind me and just like put his finger in my ear, tickle my ear. I fucking hated it. I hated it. And it would make me jump, and I'd be like, don't do that. Stop, don't do that, stop. He would do it. He would do it. He would also scare me, like if we're outside, like I'm going around the corner with the pizza, and he would jump at me and scare me. And I told him, this has to stop. And I told the boss, I cannot have this kid scaring me and constantly putting his finger in my ear. I'm like, it's driving me crazy. He had talked to him, and then one time was making a pizza that day. I did make some of the pizzas, and he came up behind me and he put his finger in my ear, and I turned around and fucking hit him right across the face. It was almost like I didn't even know it was him because I was confident he would stop doing it. And they wanted to give me hell for hitting him. And I reminded the boss, the manager, that I had a talk with you about this. He needed to stop doing that. And that was just a reaction. And I won that. There was no way they were going to get me for like physically harming this guy by hitting him across the head, because he did indeed put his finger in my ear. Did that hurt? No. But the point is, the reaction is not the person at fault. He brought that onto himself by touching my fucking ear. Sounds funny. The other thing is, I was a big bad drunk, right? We all know that. And I'm very honest that I drove drunk for many, many years. I drove drunk. And I had Derek as a teenage mom, a drunk teenage mom. That's what Derek got to grow up with all through until he was in his early 20s, I think he was, when I stopped drinking. Maybe mid-20s or maybe late 20s. He was in his 20s. So he grew up with a drunk mother. That wasn't easy for him. Okay, so now let's go to me and my mother. When I first started talking about my narcissistic mother, and people would tell me that, but she's your mother, chill. No, she was my mother, I know, but I'm not chilling over a mother who had no right to be a mother to a child, because she could not be a kind and loving mother, and certainly wasn't equipped to keep me safe in the world and to teach me good things, right? And, made my life a living hell until she died at 99. So that was a long time with a narcissist. People would then say, but you don't know what issues or what problems your mother had. Like, that's okay now. She had problems, and she couldn't help but be a bad mother because she had problems. Am I supposed to also say, hey, look, I'm not responsible for Derek's upbringing, for what I put him through, because I had issues. If you think the person above, at the top of the chain, is forgiven simply because they had issues, and it's not such a big deal as to why they destroyed their child. Not their fault. No, it's their fault, because once you're older and you are an adult, you are supposed to have some kind of brain of your own to say, I can't do this. If you do that, like I did that, at the very least you have to be willing to admit it. And, validate the person you hurt. My mother could not do that because narcissists don't do that. They're not capable of that. They don't even have that kind of brain that allows them to do that. I never say as an excuse for what I did as a drunken mother and, just not being present in my son's life, never will I ever say, yeah, but I had issues. And Derek knows it. And that's why we have a good relationship, because I've been very honest with him and he has been very forgiving. Because, you can forgive somebody when you're validated. And even if he tells me stuff that I don't remember, I will always say, I don't remember that, but I absolutely believe you. If you say I did that, I did that. So, yeah, and then, but then I have people that say, well, don't beat yourself up. And I had a woman when I was talking about being drunk and how bad I felt and all this stuff, and she said, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't. You did the best you could. And I said, and this was in the comments, I said, if, as a drunk driver, I would have killed your child, would you still be saying that? And she replied, never thought of it that way. Think of it that way before you start thinking you have to be easy on somebody who's trying to tell you that they really fucked up. It's okay to fuck up and to say you fucked up. And it's not so much beating myself up, it's just telling people the truth. And people want to kind of like, just kind of like protect people like that. No, you did the best you could. Don't worry. Don't beat yourself up over it. That person that you're saying, don't worry, don't beat yourself up. It's okay. You did the best you could. Picture that person doing something horrible to you or somebody that you love. And would you still say the same thing? I don't think you would. I don't think you'd be that forgiving. It's easy to comfort a broken person as long as they haven't hurt you. It's easy for them to want you to forgive the broken person who was part of making you broken because that person was broken. It's easy for them to want everybody to just be, nice to each other and accepting because that person didn't affect their lives directly. It's very different when you're living it. And I always say, please let people say what they want. If somebody is telling you their truth, all you have to do is listen. You can listen and say, I understand. Or you can listen and say, I don't understand, but I appreciate that you're telling me. You don't have to put a Band-Aid on their lifetime of fucking misery. It takes a big Band-Aid for that. And that person's not looking for a Band-Aid. That person is looking for healing, and the only way people can heal is to talk things out. And I'm very fortunate that I have this platform, even though I drive some crazy with the things that I talk about and the things that I say. But I appreciate that I have this platform, and I'm going to use it to constantly try to heal. And I know I help others, because if you look at my comments, there's a lot of people that I help, and that feels very, very good. If I had to live all that shit, and then if I had to put my son through all that shit, I want to have something good come out of that. All right? So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll be back with more soon. Bye.